lose the fear and ego of seeking help. Like when I started this journey, I was so scared of asking for help, right? I didn't think other CEOs, because I was still like a senior executive, but I wasn't like a founder or like a CEO of a company. I was still, one level below CEO. So like when you create your brand or when you're in this entrepreneurial journey, lose the ego and lose the fear of, oh my God, what are people going to think of me? Are they going to think I'm not smart enough? You have to lose that because it's a very, very lonely journey. So have your emergency contact, build your support system, build your mentor group, because it's a very lonely journey. I still question myself all the time. And if I didn't have that, it's so easy to fall apart and kind of like drown in that, self-doubt. So just, I would say for everyone, lose the ego, because more than 90% of the time, people are just really excited to help other people succeed and they're willing to help. So build that support system however way you need to. I would say be self-aware and be honest with yourself, which I think a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of people even like much down the line in their career, they're just not honest with themselves on their skill set. Like I think from the get-go, when I started working on the brand, close to launch, I quickly knew where, what I was lacking and what my strengths were and what my opportunity areas were. And I'm very honest about that even now, right? So I don't come from a marketing background. I have done everything else under the sun, but not marketing. And I was like, I've done like brand marketing, top line, M&A type of marketing, and I'll figure it out. But no, you have to be very honest about what your strengths are and fill in the blanks with people that are smarter than you in those areas that you lack. Because for any brand to be successful, you have to just make sure that first and foremost, you're very clear about where you need help and get the right people to fill in those roles. Again, the ego has to go, right? Where I'm like, I'm the founder, I'm the CEO. A lot of founders get stuck in that thing. One more thing I would like to add to that. It's like somebody taught me this tip: hire cautiously, but fire quickly. Because as a founder, you want to make sure you hire the right people in those right departments and holes that you have. But if they're not performing, fire quickly, because you're going to lose so much money if you're just like, oh, let me just write it out. So I think that's one tip I will give other CEOs, that be very smart when you're hiring, but then just if it's not working, get rid of, the talent that's just not working.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. And I wanted to ask you a follow-up for that, because I almost feel like you probably have had a bigger advantage by having that background in the industry, where you're thinking about hiring somebody, like somebody who's not in that industry, doesn't know who exactly they're looking for. They don't know what to hire for. Has that helped you as far as hiring?
I think that has helped me, because I think overall I just know growth marketing, digital marketing, social media marketing. So I think